Hello, Power Family, and welcome to the weekly update for Friday, April 16th of 2021. And I appreciate you spending a little time once again, and excited to be able to share some more positive news this week. Obviously, last week had some important information, some decisions that had to be made, but I think we're moving in a better direction. And so I'm going to give you a quick update, and what's the plan for moving forward. Update and some good news on quarantining, and that's going to be about it. So we're going to focus strictly on COVID and just kind of keep you up to date and where we're at. But once again, thank you as always for just being supportive, understanding, flexible, adapting with the changes that we have to seem to continually make throughout the school year. But on that note, I do want to say that we had to pause high school face-to-face instruction this past week. I'm definitely confident that was the right decision, as we knew what was coming in terms of our COVID numbers at the tail end of last week. From Friday afternoon and evening, after I even recorded my weekly update, to about Tuesday, we had 9 cases at the high school that we knew were kind of in the background from spring break, and we were able to be able to work through those. Our high school team spent all day on Monday and Tuesday doing all the contact tracing, communication, working with our teachers, our families, the administrators, and central office staff. So that was time that we had to spend. But after that, things definitely slowed down. We got through that, what I'd call that spring break surge, and things definitely got much quieter. And it's been a relatively very quiet week on that front. I don't believe we had another high school case after that Tuesday. Athletics, things have gone extremely well. We haven't had any issues in athletic teams, and so great seeing those kiddos out throughout this week on the softball diamonds and on the track and field, and throughout our entire district. So excited to announce that we are going to be moving forward with face-to-face instruction next week. This was really just a one-week pause, an opportunity for us to kind of get through the work that we needed to and the impact. And so, obviously we are already in the process of rescheduling our SAT, PSAT. We've got all that taken care of. Ms. McBride, Ms. Woods will be communicating, if they already haven't done so, with the school communities about what the plan for that is. So definitely our teachers did a great job this week providing, once again, virtual remote learning. Students did a great job. So, but we're ready to have them back in our buildings, finish out this school year strong. So excited to share that news. Just other updates after, once again, the weekly update last week. Because of the domino effect of these cases we had at high school, a lot of them have siblings throughout the district. We did have 5 cases at Pathfinder that we had to work through as well. For COVID, we had 2 at Navigator and then 1 at Farley. But once again, we've had cases. We're going to still have cases. The rates are still much higher than what we've experienced throughout most of the year. Right now in the state of Michigan, it's actually 17.5%, and here in Livingston County is 17.8%. The only bright spot there is that they have gone backwards. They're going down a little bit. They were actually a little bit higher. Health department shared with us yesterday that they are starting to see trends of plateauing and moving in that direction. That's what they want to see. State of Michigan, I think the governor said yesterday that they're starting to see some decreases as well. So that's our hope. But we just need to continue being diligent in our safety protocols, making sure we're really trying to make sure we're washing our hands, sanitizing, wearing our masks. Obviously, here at school, we know it works. We know what's got us to this point. We know what's going to continue carrying us forward throughout the school year. So let's continue to work together. Once again, appreciate all that you're doing and have done. So in terms of quarantining, we've had about 300 students throughout the district quarantined because of the numbers I just shared with you. And unfortunately, as you know, probably about a week and a half, almost 2 weeks ago, the state Department of Health and Human Services said that we needed to ramp up the days of quarantine back up to 14. We originally lowered it back to 10. And that definitely has a serious impact on students, on families, no doubt. One of my own children have been quarantined. When you look at 14 days, that's like a half a month. And so I have some good news. In our meeting yesterday with the health department, they were just informed through a memo they received that local health departments can then now decide whether or not they want to stick with the 14-day or resort back to the 10-day. And we overwhelmingly pushed them to go back to 10-day, and they definitely accommodated that, and they're in full support of that as well. So as of today, 16th, we're going back to 10-day quarantines. And so moving forward, anybody who's quarantined, it's gonna be 10-day. Now, if you're a parent such as myself and your child got stuck in that 14-day period, we are going to be retroactive. We felt it was just only fair. We don't want students to be out of school longer than they have to be. We know it impacts parents, work schedules, and so many other variables. So we need to work through that today. That's a lot of work on our part. We felt it's definitely warranted, though. We have to go through our spreadsheet. We have to take all the dates of the ending dates and move them back 4 days. and then communicate that to those families as well, which we're going to do through email. So it's not going to something that can happen quick, but we're hoping to get through that today, and let folks know as soon as they can. So, for instance, if your quarantine date went to next week, which is let's say the 20th, and then your day of return was the 21st. Instead of the 20th being that last day, we're going to take it back 4 days. It would be the 16th, which would be today. Today would be the last day of quarantine, and the student would be able to return back to school on Monday. So that's pretty significant. We also know there's student athletes who've been quarantined, and maybe they were going to miss this weekend's maybe a soccer game or track meet, which is it's scheduled tomorrow on Saturday. We're going to go through that. We're going to try to get those taken care of. Let coaches, let our athletic director, Mr. Warlow, know so we can get them back and competing as soon as we can. So it's just going to take a little bit of time just because of the sheer numbers, but we're going to work through it because we would definitely want our kids back in school as quickly as they're able to. So once again, that's good news. And we're hoping that 10 days, and that's going to help some situations out for the rest of the school year. In terms of vaccinations, 16 and over now, that's probably a lot of our high school students are able to get vaccinated. And we encourage that if that's something the parents agree with and support. And so I'm gonna follow up with an email that provides resources and links to a variety of sites that you can register, from our own Livingston County Health Department, the Myers, CVS, down in Forefield. So you can go ahead and get yourself an appointment and get your child who is 16 or over vaccinated. So I'll follow up with that. That's good news. That's definitely encouraging. And then obviously, as we're looking to next school year as well. So I'll send that information out. And outside that, I just want to highlight the picture I have behind me. And it's not something that's really associated with Pinckney Community Schools, but we're great partners with our local municipalities. And this is from the village of Pinckney. And this is a community garden that they have mocked up. And it's part of a proposal and a contest for a grant that they submitted. And it was sponsored by Consumer Energy, and it was Put Your Town on the Map, and it was really targeted to small communities. And Pinckney was one of 10 finalists that were selected, and they ended up getting second place, which earned them a $15,000 grant to help them put this vision and this project in place. And so our community, obviously where we're at, more rural community, definitely in terms of folks being part of a community garden makes sense. I think it's something that would be great value. Maybe down the road, even getting our students somewhat involved in a project like this. But I just want to say congratulations to Rebecca Foster, the village president, and her team there for putting in the hard work. They had a great video, part of their proposal, that just highlighted our very unique and special community. And so once again, I just wanted to highlight their work and what they're trying to do to be added a valuable asset and resource to our community. So kudos to them. Congratulations to that group there. So that's all I have for you today. Thank you so much for once again all that you do and all your support for us. And I'm going to follow up with an email just with those resources for vaccinations, and just to make sure everybody's on the same page with return to face-to-face learning next week, and then also with the quarantine going back to 10 days. And we're going to be working through that today. So just give us a little bit of time, some patience with that. But have a great weekend, everybody. Thanks again. And as always, go Pirates.